Hello, my name is Camper Bull. I'm the founder of the PMP Masterclass, the author of Moving from Project Management to Project Leadership, and I had the honor of being a content contributor for the PMBOK, the Project Management Body of Knowledge 4th edition. This video is all about PMP certification, what it is, what certification process is, what the certification advantages are, and how to best study for that certification. The PMP certification is the globally recognized certification in the project management field. It is developed and administered by the Project Management Institute, PMI, and this certification is one of the best recognized certifications in project management. Once an individual has achieved that certification, the records show that there is approximately a $10,000 bump on average for the attainment of that certification. Now, this is certainly in no way, shape, or form a promise, but generally, if one achieves the PMP certification, one receives over a period of time approximately $10,000 US more. The application process for the PMP certification is relatively straightforward. It is now online and can be reached at the PMI website. The PMI website will ask a series of interesting questions and expects you to be able to fill out quite a bit of paperwork. The PMP certification process is a project in itself, and the application process is quite laborious. It does take some time, because what you're required to do is you're required to show and prove that you've achieved certain levels. They first ask whether you have a bachelor's degree or not. 98% of people applying for the PMP certification have a bachelor's degree, but if you don't have a bachelor's degree, that's okay. There are two tracks, a bachelor's degree track and a non-bachelor's degree track. The bachelor's degree track and the non-bachelor's degree track both require that you provide for the certification process that you've had 35 hours of educational content, contact hours. And this is basically being taught you how to think about the project management process. So it makes sense for certification, if we've created that process, that you actually have some educational ability. That you have to prove, and then you have to show that you've had additional hours where you've been leading in each of the areas. Now, the certification process changes on a regular basis, so I'd encourage you to go to the PMI website to get the exact numbers. But they are approximately 3,500 hours in 5 years. So you have to show that you've had 3,500 hours of leading projects in the various areas. You'll have to document each project, how many hours you spent on that project, and what you did for the certification. Once you've created all that, plus some background information, you submit it to PMI, and it goes through their certification process. Once your credentials have been approved, you are approved to go on to the next stage of the PMP certification process, which is actually taking the exam. You'll have approximately 1 year to take the PMP certification exam, and the certification exam is created to be a difficult exam. There are 200 questions. You're allowed to take that in 4 hours. There are certification areas which you go and take it. It's not online. It is actually in a test-taking area. So you have to get your PMP certification documents before you go in. Once you get those documents, you can schedule a time and actually go in to take the exam. The exam is going to be done on a computer with 200 questions. It is in a large room where many people are taking similar exams. There's not one set time to take the PMP certification. You can take it at any time, but other people will be taking other certifications simultaneously, so be aware of that. As you study for the exam, understand the PMBOK, the Project Management Body of Knowledge, is the center or framework for the certification, but the certification is much broader. It expects you to know quite a bit of more information than just what's on the PMBOK. So I'd encourage you not only to study the PMBOK, but other forms of information about the PMP certification and about the PMP organization itself. There are many PMP certification isms that you're going to find, and you need to be aware of those. Once you've gained that information, it's important then to start taking as many test questions and certification questions as you can. The more certification questions you identify and read through, the more comfortable you're going to become in the process. So therefore, once you've done the study for the certification, then study the questions or the certification questions, because there are going to be quite a few of them. Now understand, out of those 200 certification questions that you're going to take in the 4 hours, 25 of them may be just test questions for other certifications, for new questions that are coming out in future certification exams, not yours. So don't get discouraged. There may be some really difficult ones there. Once you've taken the 200 questions, you tell the computers you submit your exam and you receive that certification immediately. Once the exam has been graded and you've hit the correct percentage, which is still kept secret by PMI, you receive an immediate certificate and you are technically a certified PMP. So certification happens immediately. If you don't pass, you're allowed to take the exam again for an additional testing fee. I know it's confusing and I know it's difficult. We at the PMP Masterclass want to try and serve you as best as possible. So we've created 3 free videos about PMP certification. The first is myths about PMP certification. The second video is a tool I've used to better my chances of passing the certification on the first try. This is a tool I used with the certification questions to make sure we clearly understand what we do right, what we do well, and how well we do at guessing. This tool allowed me to get my PMP certification in half the time. It only took me 2 instead of the 4 hours to do it. I'm giving this to you for free because we need more and more certified project managers to really raise our abilities, our function, and our recognition in the community. The third free video I've created is one about how we learn, how you can best learn the PMP certification. We don't learn like we used to in high school or in college. And the PMP certification really requires you to engage in the process and really learn it. But it's just not a PMP certification that you drop. It's something that you need to continue to maintain. Therefore, understanding this information and continuing to get this information on a regular basis will serve you in the long run. If you go to www.pmmasterclass.com, I will not only give you all 3 videos, but 25 secrets to getting the PMP certification, as well as reviews of all the PMP certification books out there, the ones that are good and the ones that are not so good, so you can make a good choice on dealing with what materials you're going to use to pass the PMP certification. I'm also going to give you 20 questions similar to the PMP certification questions so that you can study and use that along with the free video and tool I was giving you to pass the certification on the first time, so that you can become a certified PM instead of just an individual who does a lot of project management process. If you go to www.pmmasterclass.com, I will give you all of this material as well as an assurity that you can pass the PMP certification. My name is Camper Bull. I'm the founder of the PMP Masterclass, and I look forward to seeing you in another video.